In this lecture, we will examine these queries and talk about the contextual vector and then article methodology. From time to time, when we create the content briefs, we check these queries sometimes in a different way. For example, sometimes we check the variation of the words and the count inside the queries as well. For example, we search for the risk, so it is showing in our contextual vector, and in some of the queries, one or two time it shows. So inside our contextual vector, we have the word disadvantages. For example, if we search for it, it also appear in a queries. The reason that we use the risk and the disadvantages because both are coming from queries, but we prioritize here the word risk because in the health terms or in a health context, naturally the word is mostly common or used, the word risk. But in a clothing or other type of stuff, the word disadvantages is the theme word. It's like this word is used in that specific theme. Another thing, if I search for the dogs, so it appears one time, and if I search for the cat, it appears two times. But we put the question or use the word, the grouper word, pets, because here we create the different question for the cat and for the dog, but we did not, because we did not expand the context or dilute the coverage of this specific article. That's why we make it grouper and tell the one question, because it's not about the animal context or we want to go deeper for the animal contextual domain. Now, if I search for the hot water or warm water, so it appears a lot of time, but we put just at this place at the end of the article. We did not cover it or expand their context in our contextual vector because we want to open a new page for this specific context. That's why we give just a one question in the supplementary content and as an antonym context. One of the reason you see that we did not go in article methodology in a more detail because this is not our quality node. The quality node is basically the article which we try to prove our quality to the search engine that look, we have a lot of research, a lot of experience, and we deserve to achieve the topical authority state. And we signal those specific quality nodes according to the topical map. So the search engine see and they calculate the relevancy score. And for those articles who did not have much importance in our topical map, we don't go for more detail in article methodology. So here we give the journal introduction part. The journal introduction means the extractive sentences from all the articles. And now we did not mention more detail or we not go for more detail because the authors are more knowledgeable and have experience. So we just tell the journal introduction. Here we talk about the risk of cold water. And in that area, you see that first at the bottom of the paragraph, we talk about the parts of bodies that are affected by cold water should be given. And in the next part, in the first paragraph, we just ask give the parts of the body and then we go for these specific phrases that are the parts of body. Tooth is a part of body and the heart is a part of body. And we explicitly ask how it is affected by cold water. If we search in the queries the tooth and heart, it appears one time or more. If we search here about the stomach, so it appears two times, but we did not write here because the stomach in the queries appears in the context of warm water. So that's how you differentiate it. You did not always rely or depend on just the query count, how much the word appears in the query network. So just to differentiate between, I already said it's not about just putting from this to this. It's a whole process and the principle that we follow because nothing is random. The query count method we use for just using distributional semantics sometimes in a quick way. And in this area, we ask one more preceding question, that is, does drinking cold water burn calories? This context term is related to the weight loss and it's like the next step of the losing weight or the reason for losing weight as well. So article methodology that we have created coming from this specific part and this section. Sometimes we use in a content brief numerical values or the statistics to be able to shape this part as you see. Not totally depend on it, but according to the relevance and the topical map or the strategy that we are creating for gaining the topical authority state. And we try to prioritize some certain section, and we always don't include everything inside the macro context. In the next lecture, we will check few more section in this area, and then from there we will continue further. Thank you.